to happen was something else.
How do you respond to that if, like, Chrissy says, like, hey, when you did that earlier, that really hurt my feelings, and
I tell her she's wrong and she needs to get now. Just yeah, it's that toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
You're reading your feelings wrong. You should have felt this.
It's not my fault you feel like that.
I mean, there are times when somebody that you care about will say something and you're just like, oh my God, like what did I do?
Yeah, I didn't mean to hurt you.
I really did not mean to communicate that. And I think what happens is when you accept that you may have done something unintentional, it wasn't that you intended to do it. That does a couple of things. It also shows the person that you're with that you care enough, and it shows your intentions. And so the next time something happens, they're less likely to think that you're an asshole.
Yeah.
Because they know that you care and that you're trying to change the way that you do whatever it is.
Yeah.
And, once you show that interest, then it's kind of like, well, you know what? He actually does care. So maybe he's not,
What's really tough, man, and this is something that I have really learned more of in my relationships, has been like, if I like the response to defend yourself, not like, and here's where it gets a little gray, is like, it's not like I want to defend myself because I don't want to be wrong. I want to defend myself because I don't want you to think I really did try to hurt you, or that that's what I meant by that.
For sure.
And one thing that the interesting thing that I've learned more in my relationships has been like the willingness to sit there and have someone say, like, you really hurt my feelings when that happened, and I felt like this, and knowing that that wasn't my intention and that's not at all what I meant, and I didn't even mean for that to happen like that. But even knowing that wasn't my intention, still sitting and maybe even asking a couple more questions about how they feel about what happened, and say, like, like, when did you start feeling like that? Or like, is it how I said it? Or like, maybe it was something that happened that afternoon. Like, is it something that, bothered you because of this? And getting to understand it even before saying, like, I love you and I'm really sorry you felt like that. Totally not my intention to make you feel like that. Yeah. There's been a couple of times I've even just not even said that, like, it wasn't my intention to make you feel like that, but just said, like, I'm really sorry that I hurt your feelings.
The tone in which you approach that situation says everything. Oftentimes you don't have to say those words. The fact that you're sitting there and listening to the person and taking an interest is enough to communicate that you weren't intending to hurt their feelings. That's
something, man, that I have found difficult with, like, I'd say male friends in life, is the moment of saying, like, nah, bro, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way when that happened. Like, I didn't like that. What's up? What you mean? Like, I wasn't a fan of that earlier when XYZ went down or whatever. And it's like, I didn't mean like that. And it's like, all right, like, I know that, bro, but I'm like,
still made me feel that way.
Yeah. And there's like not a lot of space for, like, I think this is a beautiful thing for people to hear about relationships, is that, like, people feel things. Like, one of the greatest things I've practiced in my relationships is just trusting my partner when they say they feel something. Yeah. Like, I really felt hurt earlier when that happened. Like,
you have to take them at their word because it is their life experience. You can't tell them that they didn't feel that.
And my tendency in the past has been to, like, replay the events, rearrange what happened, not in a manipulative way. I like, nah, babe, that's my cousin, like some shit like that. But, like, repaint the picture for her so it doesn't hurt her feelings, and I've learned now to, like, that, like, I'd rather put coins in the jar of, like, I'm here for you always, and I always got an open ear for you, and I've got a big enough heart to see, I'll fuck up, and I might do something intentionally that hurts your feelings, and I might do something accidentally that hurts your feelings, but either way, man, I'm here because I know oh my God, I fucked up. Like, that's such a funny thing at the very end of, like, that inner reflection. I'm like, damn, at the end of the day, I'm just, like, surprised I fucked up. Like, someone's like, you made life difficult for me. I'm like, no way.
No way. How?
I did?
Today? Yeah.
That's a weird thing, man. It's almost like it takes some level of personal, like, you have to be honest with yourself about how you fucked up your own life too, and do on a consistent basis.
Well, it keeps you humble.
Yeah, man, because then someone's like, hey, you kind of fucked my life up too. You're like, yeah, you too? You know?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, dude, he got my ass.
You should see what I did to my own life.
He got my ass yesterday. Yeah. But you're like, man, I'm telling you, when I first felt that in my relationship, it was like the beginning of of a fatherly superpower. It felt like, hey, you really hurt my feelings. It's like, oh, word? Like, tell me, man. Like, I didn't know that. Like, please,
I mean,
let me know.
so oftentimes we're quick to kind of like justify our positions, right? And a position doesn't really matter. You know, the person's feelings that you care about are what matter. So it's more important to listen to that person and understand what it is, where they're coming from. And if need be, you know, like change position or clarify or whatever. But
if they have
how
questions,
you communicate that is so utterly important. And so many people just like tromp all over it.
Yeah.
And it's not.
What do you mean trump all over?
Well, I mean, they just like, well, you know, I'm blah, 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 you know, like you try to justify your position. Like there's no justification. Like you just hurt the person's feelings. Maybe there's something, you know, in it that like, well, I'm sorry that you felt that way. I really didn't mean to, you know, communicate that, you know. So like you were saying, like, let's have a discussion about it. But, you know, oftentimes it's easier just to go, you know what, I fucked up. I need to do better next time.
Yeah, and even if you didn't fuck up and need to do better next time, you just hurt their feelings and it just happened. Like, that's one of
I'll try and do better. Honestly, I hope if she listens to this, she doesn't think that I'm just playing games. But oftentimes when Chrissy says stuff like that, I'm just like, there's no response other than either, you know, weeping that I hurt this person that I care so much about, or just telling her and looking her in the eyes and saying, I'm sorry. Like, you know, I'll try and do better.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a perfect person. I'm not, you know, done.
Yeah.
Like I'm not dead, so I'm not done.
Yeah.
Right. And then I'm planning on living a long time. It's why I've fought to lose the weight. It's why I'm fighting to live like
man, I'm living forever.
Exactly. And so, you know, so I mean, like you know, it's easy just to say like, hey, I have some shit that I still need to learn.
So here's one of the biggest things about this.
Okay.
I think is
he's getting serious, folks.
No, but seriously, it's like, even past I could do better. Mm-hmm. There's also an element to it that I can't do better.
Yeah.
Right? Like even past the like my partner said I hurt the feelings, so I need to change that. Like one part of me feels like I'm always down to cooperate. I'm always down to cooperate. But there's also there's another layer of presence that I've been able to tap into in those moments of being shared that I hurt someone's feelings, mm-hmm. that comes with knowing that this will happen a lot in the life together, and that, you know, it may not even be that something needs to change at all. I may not even need to do anything differently. It might just hurt your feelings. You know, like it might have just hurt your feelings. Something that might have just happened to hurt your feelings. You're having a bad day. I said something, you know, like, I feel like there's an attitude towards it. Sometimes it's like, oh, I fucked up, you know, I messed up and I need to be better at it, instead of just like, I really, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. You know, I didn't mean to do that.
It's a hard place to be.
Yeah, just a lot of tenderness, man.